I'm going to talk this morning about the injustices brought on by wrong-headed folks in the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. The loss of our hunting opportunities due to tremendous mismanagement favoring predation over hoofed game. There has to be controls made. Has to be controls done so that we are assured to have the hunting. This is not being done. It hasn't been done right from the very, very beginning of the idea of bringing a non-native invasive species, the Canadian gray wolf, into Wyoming. I know exactly what has happened, and I know what's going on. And I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can. From the very beginning, these ideas came up, and it was decided with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department that if we had 100 wolves and 10 breeding pairs in Wyoming, that this would be an ecological acceptable situation. Well, quite possibly, if it was held to that, and it was never to go beyond that, it might have had a very tiny amount of merit. But this is not what has materialized. From that point, you see, they came up with these ideas, and then there was a statement made by a certain individual. His name was Mark Brasino, now retired from the wolf situation, Wyoming Game and Fish Department. He had an article in the Wyoming Wildlife quite a number of years ago, I believe it was in 1994, that the missing link to our ecosystem was this gray wolf. Well, there was a reason why these wolves were killed out in this part of the country, here in the United States many, many years ago. This is what was able to build our tremendous game herds. Our dollars were used to build these tremendous game herds. When this was first dreamed up, we had a governor by the name of Mike Sullivan. Over the years, he was selected and appointed to the Wyoming Outdoor Hall of Fame. Well, that's really a wonderful thing to be appointed to the Wyoming Outdoor Hall of Fame, but it's all for the wrong purpose here, folks. This guy was appointed to the Wyoming Outdoor Hall of Fame for the destruction of our wildlife and for taking away our hunting, our heritage, and what we paid into. And this goes on because these people aren't accountable. These people ought to be accountable for this tremendous loss. These people work for us. They work for everybody that buys a hunting license, and all the game species in the state of Wyoming belongs to the taxpayer of Wyoming. It doesn't belong to the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. It doesn't belong to Mike Sullivan or anybody else. It belongs to the people. But as things have come around, you think that this game belongs to the Wyoming Game and Fish Department to just do whatever they like, whatever they please. And every time things get a little bit tougher, they just keep taking away hunting opportunities by taking away hunting permits. Well, the answer to this is you eliminate the problem. You eliminate the problem. The predation, the heavy predation. Not just wolf predation, grizzly bear predation, mountain lion predation, coyote predation, any of these animals that are preying on our wildlife. This isn't being done. The state of Wyoming, through the legislature, mandates that the Wyoming Game and Fish Department needs to manage our wildlife so that it may grow and prosper for generations to come. Wyoming Game and Fish Department is in severe, and I emphasize absolutely severe, disastrous. It's a disastrous situation. They're ignoring it. They're just sidestepping it. And they're just letting everything take its course. There's not a damn thing being done here. It's not only this, but the Game and Fish Department, over time, has been bought off by these environmentalists. There's a lot of these environmental people right in our Wyoming Game and Fish Department. They shouldn't be there at all. And this situation, we're right at a point here where I live, where we had the most outstanding wildlife situation from a hunting standpoint, sightseeing, picture taking, whatever, enjoying our wildlife. It's been declining for years and years and years. But every year, the Wyoming Game and Fish Department counts game, and they have something called their herd objectives. Well, this is all phony. They're counting the herd, they're counting these animals in January or February. Well, we're not hunting them in January or February. We're hunting in September, October, and maybe into November. Well, go out there, folks, and count our game, and then tell us what the herd objective is, what it actually is. All this has been used as a phony up, because everybody that says anything, myself or anybody, don't make any difference who it is. Maybe one of you viewers have talked to them. It's the same thing. Well, we have our herd objectives. Well, I'm sorry, they're not here. The game's not here. We know that it's not here. This wolf has changed our entire ecosystem here in the North Fork Valley of the Shoshone, where I live, between Cody, Wyoming, and Yellowstone Park. This was a great winter area for elk. Yeah, elk come through here, but they don't stay here anymore because they've got tired of having all their buddies eaten, and they're going someplace else. And what hasn't been eaten is learned to maybe live someplace else, because they maybe found a few locales where there's places to live where maybe there's not such a great concentration of wolves. In the valley here alone, there's somewhere between 50 and 60 wolves. Well, they don't recognize that many wolves. They recognize only the packs. Well, we've got a very small quota here. The tremendous depredation that's happened here in the valley and the loss of our hunting opportunities dictates to me that we should have a quota of at least 30 wolves to be taken out of this valley. That's not happening. Last year we had a quota of 6. All 6 were taken. This year we'll have a quota of 7. There's more wolves born. There's 3 or 4 times as many wolves born each year in just the valley here as there are the number of wolves can be taken out by quota. Figure it out, folks. This is an agenda. This has been an agenda from the very, very beginning. These people don't care. They don't care about this. The only thing they care about is, I'm the director of the Fish and Game Department, or I'm the such and such game warden, or I'm the area supervisor in some district, or I'm the game commissioner, or whoever it happens to be. All the hell that they care about is their positions. And this is what's promoted all the damn time. The game should come absolutely first, and you people last. And things went to hell here in the state of Wyoming when you, the Game and Fish Department, went to the legislature and get money now from the state to operate your department. This should be done away with. You should have to operate on your own damn merit. You know what's going on. We've talked to you repeatedly about these things, and you do absolutely nothing about it. Your job and your retirement is first, and our wildlife is last. We've got a track record here now of 25 years since these wolves were introduced into the state of Wyoming that unequivocally proves that you're never going to take care of the problem. You don't intend to, you don't care. because irregardless, you're going to have your damn paycheck and your damn retirement, irregardless. But the hell with the owner of the wildlife, the hell with the people that are paying your way. It's our dollars. This money doesn't grow on a money tree somewhere. All this money, irregardless of whether it comes from the licensed buyer directly, or whether it comes from the state of Wyoming, from people that have to pay taxes, it all comes right out of my pocket. And you are misusing the funds to take away what I have paid for, which was supposed to be conservation. Take care of these situations. It's not being done. These wolves were brought in here illegally. The state of Wyoming has laws in place against non-native invasive species. Well, there's not a more non-native, bigger invasive species on the face of this earth than the wolf, but it's okay for you to break the law, folks. Just break it, to bend it however you want to. And this is what's going on all the time. You go to almost any extent that there is to get what you want. I've talked extensively to some of these game people, and I'll give you one of the answers that I got. I put it to an area supervisor here. His name at the time was Alan Osterlin, about 8 years ago. I said to him, for years you promoted the North American model of wildlife conservation, but you've abandoned that, and I'd like to know what you follow now. And his answer was, and this is it, folks, we have constituents. Well, I'm sorry, the constituents certainly aren't the game, and they're not the license buyer and the taxpayer. They're people within the department with wrong minds doing the wrong damn thing for our wildlife. It's not in the best interest. It absolutely isn't. It's a serious situation. And I think that it's way, way past time for you to get the damn message here and do something about it. Because everybody, including myself, we're tired of talking about it, but we're not going to stop talking about it, and I'm never going to stop talking about it, and I'm never going to back off of pointing out what I know is going on here. We had a comment here by our director here about 3 or 4 months ago. His name was Brian Nesvik. But we still have hunting. Oh boy, this right here gets right down to the root of it. But we still have hunting. Well, that answers it for you, folks. That clues you right then and there. This is what I'm detailing. There's a track record, and this is part of the track record. When somebody such as this, the director, says, but we still have hunting. Oh, really? I guess as long as we can go buy a hunting license and we can go hunting, irregardless of whether we can ever take the game to put meat in our freezer for ourselves and for our families, forget that. We got people that are so sick-minded that this is what they say, but we still have hunting. Quite honestly, I don't think anybody that is in that kind of a position that makes that kind of a comment, I don't think he belongs. I don't think most of these people belong. The reason I don't think that they belong is because it just goes on and just keeps getting perpetuated. I was told by Alan Osterlin, our Cody supervisor, this about 8 years ago, we know we've got problems all over the state, but we can't do anything about it. Because if we try to do something about it in these various districts around the state, we'll never get promoted in our jobs. Is this how these things really work? Well, unfortunately, yes, this is how it's really working. In other words, I'm not going to promote you, to whatever position in the game department if you don't follow what I, as the director, dictates to you that you have to do. Forget if we've lost all of our hunting opportunities. Forget that. That's okay. That's fine. As long as I get my way as a director, everything's just fine. Well, I'm sorry, folks, it's not fine. It's absolutely wrong. It's ridiculous. And it appears as though to me that to get anywhere, that the Game and Fish Department needs to be abolished and we need to start anew on the correct level of things. Because it's certainly not working the way that it is. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. I've had people point out to me that this situation is related to Agenda 21. And if you're up to date on anything, you know what Agenda 21 is. This is about taking away hunting, about taking away our recreation opportunities, taking away our rights, our hunting rights, our gun rights. That now we're getting right down to the nitty-gritty of this, folks. They haven't been able to take away our firearms, but basically, if there's a lot of people out here not hunting anymore, they've accomplished the same thing, because now this satisfies them because you're not out there with a firearm. Well, we have every aspect and every right constitutionally in the state of Wyoming and other parts of the country to be out here at any day, any time, anywhere with a firearm. And it shows me when we're questioned by Game and Fish Department people, I don't care when it is, in season, out of season, or whatever, we have the right to have a firearm irregardless. And when somebody questions it, this tells me this is exactly what's going on. This is part of it. This is part of the taking away of our Second Amendment constitutional rights, our firearms. And those very people are standing there talking to you, and they got a firearm right there on your hip. But by golly, we gotta look at this guy or this woman or whatever because they've got a firearm. Well, get a life, folks. There's laws, and the laws dictate that we can have that firearm, and we can pack it concealed. We can carry it in the open, whatever it might happen to be, anywhere at any time here in the state of Wyoming. But even though we have these things in place, there's an obvious agenda here to take this all away. And it's working pretty damn good. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Mr. Game and Fish employee, when there's no more money? When all the money dries up? The state of Wyoming is in a lot of the countries in a tremendous money crunch. It's the mishandling of monies. The Game and Fish Department wants to build a $32 million complex just north of Cody here. That's not going to put any more wildlife on the ground or help this wildlife whatsoever. These people are going to be all puffed up even bigger than they have been, because now, look at my posh office, my position and whatnot. Comes down to exactly what it's all about. The hell with the wildlife. It's all about me and my position in the game department. It's just like Congress. Congress, just a laughing damn joke of this country. And here in Wyoming, the Game and Fish Department's become a laughing damn joke too. Not only to me, but I talk to hundreds of people, and we all feel the same way, and we know what's going on. You're the problem, Mr. Game and Fish employee. You're the problem. It should be very, very obvious what we have. And I'm encouraging anybody that feels the way that I do to do whatever that they can, whatever that they may be able to do to try and straighten this situation out, because it's completely out of control. I might point out that we have various conservation-minded organizations that operate all across the country. One of the first ones that comes to mind is the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Foundation North American Wild Sheep. We've got, the Wild Turkey Federation. We've got the Sierra Club. We've got the Wyoming Outdoorsman's Group. All you people do is promote yourselves and what you're about. But you are, none of you, just like the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, you are not seeing that this is put to a screeching halt, that the elimination of our wildlife and our freedoms is what we're losing. People belong to these organizations, they pay into these organizations, but they're not getting their money's worth. There are a tremendous number of people belonging to all these organizations that I just mentioned. You're all guilty. None of you are doing what I'm describing for the best interest of the wildlife, just like the Wyoming Game and Fish Department is not doing it. You're not doing it either. It's up to individuals like myself to get something done so that this isn't lost forever. Because when it's gone, it's never coming back. Just like the wildlife here that we have lost. The tens of thousands, now actually the hundreds of thousands of game animals that we've lost here in this state to predation, essentially to mismanagement by wrong-headed game people. It's gone. It's gone forever. It can't ever come back. They have no interest. Quite a number of years ago, there was a handful of us that offered our pickup trucks and our horse trailers to haul elk from other parts of Wyoming to repopulate some of this area where we lost tremendous, and they couldn't hear of that. Well, there's been elk that's been captured and transported to all parts of the United States. And in most instances, these elk are doing tremendously well. It tells you right there, folks. Hell, this has been 10 years ago when we brought this up, 11 years ago. Oh, they poo-pooed the idea. We offered our help, our time, our machinery to help in this aspect, and they didn't want anything to do with it. Right then and there, told us that they had an agenda and they really didn't give a damn, and that you're just going to have to be satisfied with what we've screwed you out of. Because, boy, you've really screwed us. Really, really bad. And we're really damn tired, of having this shoved down our throats and the loss of what's happened. So everybody needs to wake up. I believe that a lot of these conservation-minded organizations, they really get their head out of the sand and put the pressure on that we can get something done. And we've got to have a department that recognizes they're wrong. And it's a wrong every day, all day long, every day of the year that's going on. You have to recognize you're wrong. You did wrong. It's time to take care of things. It's time to rectify these things. We cannot stand to have this go any further. The destruction of hunting and everything related to it, and it's destroyed the whole economic aspect that's built around the hunting community. It's destroyed it, and the governor is just as liable as anybody else, because he has to know that this has happened, and they do absolutely not one damn thing about it. The governor's supposed to oversee the economic aspect of each state. We are on our fourth governor, and not a one of them have even come forth and recognized this fact that we've lost such a tremendous economic base built around hunting. And I can tell you right now, folks, it's in the billions of dollars that this state's lost, economy-wise. You wonder where you're going to find money to operate the state. Well, you've created part of the problem. Step forward and do something about it, Mr. Governor, because it's way past time. It's way past time. It's your job. It's what you were elected to do. Do your job. Do your job, Mr. Game and Fish Person. You're not there because you got a title and it makes you feel good, and the hell with everything else. It's the wildlife first, and you should come last.